The Greenville Triumph returned home this week after a 3-hour rain delay and a late winner against OCB a week ago. This week they meet up with FC Tucson for the first time this season. It's week 17 of the USL League One right here on ESPN+. I'm Chris Makoviak, alongside me Ross Davenport, as we look on down into beautiful Legacy Early College. Dallas J and Greenville putting together 3 key results, 7 points in the last 3. A big help has been the defense, as it has been all season.
Yep, Dallas J has been a big part of that. He's obviously got a stout 4 in front of him, but Dallas J, when he's needed to make the saves, he has. He's only made 24 of them on the year, but been a key part of this Triumph success so far this season. 7
clean sheets overall for Greenville this season. Tied for the lowest amount of goals scored so far in League One with the Richmond Kickers, but overall it's been the defense getting it done, keeping them in games for those low-scoring results. And today they go up against an offense that's high-flying, can get opportunities in multiple areas, and is very efficient overall.
Yeah, no doubt. Dallas J want to be busy tonight. I mean, he had a good game and perhaps a win, but if he has to be called into action, he will. It's a great save there against Richmond.
FC Tucson on the other side, a lot of potent attackers on the front line, a 4-3-3 formation, a lot of pressing in this formation, and actually very similar to Greenville's attack.
Yeah, they play this kind of hybrid counter press, and they can get bodies forward, as you see there, quickly for them in the box. They've got plenty of athletic finishes as well, and there's Devin Vega, one of them.
Yeah, great creative ability out there among multiple players, and many names we've seen across USL League One teams of the week so far this season, and that shows you how many different faces are available to get it done today.
Yeah, they've got tons of weapons, and you see that 17% conversion rate puts them towards the top of the USL League One.
Tied for 4th overall in goals scored in League One with 21 on the board this season. Their defense giving up 19 on the other side, so they are porous in certain areas that maybe Greenville's own pressing can exploit down the line in today's action. So it's FC Tucson and Greenville Triumph meeting for the first time this season. We'll see who can take the 3 points here in Greenville, South Carolina today, right here on ESPN+. Between the Triumph and FC Tucson here on ESPN+. Again, I'm Chris Makoviak, alongside me Ross Davenport, as we get set to look at our starting 11s, beginning with the home side. The Triumph, their main change coming up top for this week's action, as Cameron Saul, unfortunately, facing an injury this week.
Yeah, picked up a knock when he collided with the goalkeeper in last week's win over Orlando City B. He'll be replaced in the lineup by Max Hemmings, who is also himself coming off an injury. Came off the bench last week, gets his first start here in a month, and he'll play probably in the center of that midfield with Jake Keegan up top on his own, with perhaps Carlos Gomez on the left.
On the away side for FC Tucson, a few changes in there as a few of their players saw time with Phoenix Rising last night.
Yeah, they got 4 players up in Phoenix: Ledbetter, Howell, Wheeler Amanu, and Bjornathan, and also Summersall on duty with St. Kitts and Nevis in the CONCACAF Olympic qualifying. Solid offensive lineup though still.
Yeah, great ability out there as Devin Jomga, one of a few players. Player of the Week honors in USL League One a few weeks ago, along with Jones seeing back-to-back weeks as a member of the Team of the Week. So a few options up there that could see time breaking down the field. Two teams that really like the crossing ability overall. And we talked about this between ourselves before the broadcast, Ross. Two teams that don't pass a ton up the field. They like to bring it down the wings and then cross in.
Yeah, they take their time. They look for those gaps. And again, Greenville has had a lot more trouble than FC Tucson has on the conversion side of things. But they've started to play a little better lately. They've scored a few more goals in the last few games. And obviously dealing with an FC Tucson team coming a long, long way for this game and a bunch of road games. We've got 9 of 10 on the road.
Yeah, and the key for this Greenville lineup the last few matches in this stretch has been a change at the top. Cameron Saul more as the number 9 with Keegan playing off of him, but now more of a typical look for this lineup that we saw from the beginning of the season. Our head official today is Michael Smith, and we'll see if Greenville can keep things going with their momentum in these last 3 here today. 7 points in the last 3, and Greenville is underway here at home. FC Tucson, the opponent today. The away side coming in at a record of 5-6-4, 1 point behind the Triumph in the standings. As Tucson's at 19 points, Greenville at 20. Greenville with a win today would draw even in the table for 5th with Toronto FC2, I should say. As Toronto getting a point at home against Lansing in a crazy affair. 3-3 it was yesterday in 4 p.m. action. As this will go back to Jay, it was an offsides flag as Greenville will get back possession. The Triumph coming in at a pretty even record themselves, 5-5-5, 6th on the table. They're 4-2-2 at home.
The interesting thing to see so far is Max Hemmings out wide for Greenville. We thought perhaps Omar Mahavan would obviously be on one of the wings, but perhaps Carlos Gomez, but he's got into more of a central position. And Max Hemmings hasn't seen much action on the wing so far this season. He's been more of a central presence since coming in a little late into the season, but he's been impressive when healthy.
Yeah, the former Georgia State midfielder has liked to find those lanes right up the middle, more of like a third striker coming up into the box when needed, but he hasn't had that finishing touch. He's been on the end of so many great opportunities, but just has not been able to finish for him.
Yeah, he got that 1 goal in the U.S. Open Cup, but hasn't been able to open his campaign yet in League One. Maybe it'll be tonight.
Left flank, pressure early on from Tucson. We talked about that. Both these teams, they like to press well up the field. And Tucson, a team as well that likes to stretch things out, work the flanks with those 1v1 battles.
Yeah, you can definitely see Greenville reverting tonight to that 4-2-3-1 that they started the season with Clausen, Walker as the 2 DMs. Carlos Gomez getting another chance in the middle. He's shown some real flashes of creativity in that middle at times, but then has also vanished at times. And they need him to come up big tonight. They need these 3 points, both these teams, if they're going to continue this playoff push into August.
The Triumph this season, more of a second half team for those who have taken in their matches so far. They have not scored a goal before the 30th minute of a match. So it's taken a while for them to get into games, and of course they're known for those late goals, 80th minute or later, like the one last week against Orlando City B.
And speaking of Orlando City B, Tucson's only 2 road wins this season have come against the bottom dwellers in League One. So, and again, they're traveling some 25,000 miles in this current road trip, which is an amazing feat. It takes a toll. We were talking, Chris and I, before the game about perhaps some of the rotation. We've seen some of the bench players we thought might be on the bench tonight being left at home. Might be a case of rotating some of these travels, especially with these games they've got coming up. Got to go to Chattanooga, Madison, North Texas, and Tormenta after this one. This is the 2nd of 6.
Yeah, due to some work being done back at the Kino Sports Complex in Tucson. Now stuck on the road, but the benefit of that being on the road now is 7 of their final 8 matches will be at home. That lone one actually being the 2nd trip back to Greenville coming on September 13th.
That's true, though, but at that point, if you don't pick up points on the road, by that point you could be dead and buried.
Greenville themselves, after today's match, 5 home matches, 7 away matches coming. Here's Devin Jomga down the left flank. Loses the ball. Paulitz will let that roll out of play, and it will indeed be a goal kick. Devin Jomga coming into this game the 23-year-old and Week 9 Player of the Week. Spent some time last season at Portland Timbers 2 and graduated from Southern Illinois Edwardsville.
Beautiful night for soccer. We'd said that last week too, and then that lasted 20 minutes. But
well, for anyone watching last week, the first 20 minutes looked beautiful, great atmosphere, everything, and then Zeus or the lightning struck something, one of the two, and in the end, unfortunately, a long rain delay, just under 3 hours, and Greenville taking care of the fans pretty well, though, on social media this week, and good to see that as well, and a good crowd out tonight. Vega down the field, intercepted by Polak, and he'll knock it on back. One thing to keep tuned into if you're a Greenville fan at home, Polak, Bermudez, and Bolin tonight enter the match nearly on the yellow card accumulation suspension, so one more for any of those players, and they will be suspended one match. Boland and Bermudez taking their typical spots on the bench to start the match at least, but typically do come in as the match goes on.
yeah, to lose Tyler Polak, he hasn't missed a minute this season, would be a massive blow for Greenville at that left back spot. He's been a rock back there, loves to get forward. Oh, that's an awful giveaway by Jay.
Bad giveaway by Jay. Jones on it, but Lee right there to clear it out of play. A corner kick coming for Tucson, and they're playing right into what we talked about in the pregame, that issue of pressing up at the top.
Yeah, as a goalkeeper, you want to get that first early touch, but that wasn't the kind of first touch Dallas Jay wanted to take another look at it. Back pass was fine from Evan Lee, but that was just an awful left-footed attempted clearance. I don't think Jordan Jones was expecting it at all. He almost, his first touch was almost just as bad. Results in a corner for Tucson.
Vega on loan from Phoenix Rising, puts it in there, headed up and away by Hemmings. A foul inside the box, and it's back to the Triumph.
Yeah, just shoving it back there by Jordan Jones. Didn't get away with it. Really River Riot in good voice early.
Looking for their 5th home win of the season. As I mentioned, it's a 3-match unbeaten streak for Greenville. 2 of those matches wins against Orlando City B. The other, the lone draw and shutout with North Texas down at Toyota Stadium.
Another poor giveaway by Greenville. Not the kind of start John Hawks would be wanting here.
Flick on, but luckily for Greenville, a bit too far as Jamga says I'm sorry with his right arm up.
I don't know if you can see it behind the goal there, but Ridley River Riot's done a great job with the Tifos this season. With a nice Star Wars one, which is up tonight again, and another new Tifo. They're going to produce one for every game. Doing a great job there. Queen Latifo, who's drawing these Tifos, as she likes to be known.
Oof. Batista got ahead on that challenge. It was a clean one, and Hemmings drove through it.
As we thought we might see, Lamar Batista has played center back every game so far this season for FC2s, moving out to the left this evening. Cody Wakasa drifting into the middle, obviously with the loss of Ledbetter up to Phoenix.
Yeah, Batista, an interesting story. He was actually on loan from LAFC to Phoenix, and then they redid the loan so that it went from LAFC to FC Tucson in the organization, and now has his 7th start in tow for the Oklahoma City native. Spent the last 2 seasons with Portland Timbers 2. As Muhammad takes it in back to Polak. Looking ahead into the box, the service over everyone, at least initially, as Batista has to head that away, and it's going to be a throw-in just inside the corner flag.
Yeah, he's a big physical presence, Lamar Batista. It'll be interesting to see how long John Harks waits before he switches and perhaps gives him a look at the speed of Omar Mohamed, which he might not be able to handle. We'll see how long that takes. You know John Harks likes to switch his wings.
Knocked on. Only one in the area is Gomez to take it back in. Paulitz steps up and will knock it around. Evan Lee, the former Richmond kicker, will move it on over to Polak. Team of the week back in week 4. Some open room for Gomez. Flicks it on to Seiler. Right back here tonight. Deflection. Jamga after it. Some open room for Klaus. We'll try left side, but well too short to Muhammad.
A couple of tentative moments here in these first 8 minutes by Greenville, both on the defensive end and the offensive there. Carlos Gomez there had plenty of space in front of him and didn't look up to even potentially gain a couple of yards with the ball, instead gave it away. And another one there by Klaus. He could have taken it 10 yards forward and given it a crack, but didn't. So Omar Mohamed doesn't like the offside call.
Bit unhappy with the flag going up there, but it's back to FC Tucson. But that's something initially in his first 8 minutes really we're noticing is that centrally it seems like FC Tucson's giving Greenville some room and they're pressing the wings more where Greenville likes to take it.
Interesting decision. We'll have to see if Harks can make it work. He talked about in our conference call this week about really coming out in these first 10, 15 minutes or so and setting the precedent, and they haven't done it yet.
And I mean, for FC Tucson, it's not the worst idea. Harks himself has told us that he's trying to get his team to shoot more from outside the box. So if you look on game film and say, hey, they're not stepping up to take those shots in the middle, then you might as well put some more pressure on the outside.
Yeah, listen, Darren Sawatsky's seen it all in his playing career and a good coaching career as well. He knows what this team's going to bring. As you said, Chris, lead the league, I think it crosses by a long way. Not in successful crosses by any means, but love to get it out wide. And if Tucson can stop that, we'll have to see if Greenville can go at something down the middle instead.
As Jay sends us into the crowd, Sawatsky, a 10-year MLS and USL Pro career, and of course oversaw the youth development side of things for the Seattle Sounders for years, including overseeing many of their key players from the last 5 to 10 years, including the likes of DeAndre Yedlin and Jordan Morris. Originally graduated from University of Portland, and now finding his way down to Tucson. And from talking to him earlier this season, the first few weeks, he said what he saw early on in the Seattle Sounders youth development area, he says he sees within Phoenix Rising and FC Tucson. He's very excited about the prospects of the area.
I mean, with what Phoenix Rising is doing right now in the USL Championship, you can't be anything but excited, especially with the prospects of this Tucson team. Obviously, they've been hurt a little bit by the call-ups and the inconsistencies. I think he said this is he has a new starting 11 every week. But it's a great opportunity for Darren Sawatsky to really continue to make his steps up the coaching ladder in the soccer world here.
And one thing he told us he does admire in this defense for Greenville is the continuity, the chemistry that they're able to develop week in and week out. And that's something FC Tucson will have to try to break down, but certainly they will pounce on any opportunities that Greenville gives them with bad passes at the back. Seiler down the right side, trying to send the through ball, cleared out of play by Batista as Hemmings provided pressure. Into the box is Keegan. He'll knock it on the Seiler, deflected by Batista, again out of play, and a corner kick coming for the Triumph.
Yeah, one thing Coach Harks has mentioned in the past in our calls is the advantages some of these MLS
Corner
affiliate
kick
teams
for
do have
Greenville.
in money and talent, but as you said, Chris, the consistency just isn't there, and it can really hurt you. We've seen some teams succeed at the championship level with MLS affiliates, and others have struggled, but certainly a lot of hard work, but Coach Sawatsky's up for the task, there's no doubt about it.
Mohammed heading over to take this corner kick in the 12th minute of action. Ball sent in, headed up and away. No green jerseys really there where the ball went, as it's back out, back in. Handled well, and Jamga, some room to run. He'll knock it ahead around Paulitz. Here's Devin Vega, the creative ability. Flick it on, Polak, enough there to help his teammates back. Attempt at a clearance, Polak trying to get it through. It flicks on wide by Vega. And Greenville left looking there, and it's back to Tucson. Vega back into the box, chested down. Cox trying to size up the opportunity. Have to turn to his right. Tucson still can't find a good look. Batista will reset. Vega. Walker the header. And Mohammed maybe finding some room on the left flank.
It's good work defensively there by Tyler Pollock, who was actually all the way over on the right back position. Had some help from Evan Lee, but just a little discombobulated at the moment, Greenville. I'm not sure what's going on here in the early goings.
Down the right side, and out of play goal kick here for Jay and his squad to reset. We'll take another look at this tackle and defensive play on the far flank. The Greenville faithful wanting a foul here, nothing called.
Not sure why that wasn't called there. The referee had a great look at it. I mean, Omar Mohammed knew exactly what was coming, but he had the right away, and it was taken away by the sliding tackle. Unlike last week, where our referee was calling almost every ticky-tack foul in the first 15 minutes, it's clear here that Michael Smith's going to let things go a little bit.
Select is the official ball supplier of USL League One and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. That Select ball finding its way back over to the Triumph now. Here in the 14th minute, 0-0 between the two sides. Been mostly in possession with the triumph so far. Walker, the goal scorer from last week, sending it wide to Seiler. Cross into the box. Bicycle kick and going just wide out of play. Oh, Jake Keegan looking for another to the board this season.
Yeah, great passage of play there by Greenville. Cole Seiler getting forward like he loves to do, just like Tyler Pollock on the other side. And a superb cross, a little bit behind Jake Keegan, but what an athletic move right on the penalty spot there. Made good contact, but just wide.
Yeah, good power on it as well. Morancio would not have seen that coming. Morancio in goal here today for FC Tucson. As he's seen a 5th start today. 5 goals allowed, 13 saves, and even an assist to his name. Ejimadu on loan this season from LAFC, not with the 18 today on the road trip. But both keepers have seen time back and forth over the last few weeks. Both bringing different abilities according to Coach Sawatsky so far here in 2019. Ejimadu, really the incredible save ability, but from Morancio, really good with his feet and distribution to help out this 4-3-3 formation, getting down the field quickly and ahead.
Not seen much of an early press from Greenville here. They've gone away from it a little bit the last few games. We'll see if they revert into it. Here comes Carlos Gomez.
Gomez, the steal, right there from the back in, and for the goal. Mistakes early for Greenville, but it's Tucson there making the mistake. Gomez pounces, and it's 1-0 to the Triumph.
Well, just as I said, Greenville were looking a little discombobulated. That was an awful mistake by OCB. By Tucson. Gomez, they weren't pressing particularly, and Gomez just picked up that errant pass and took it the distance. Nice finish.
Second goal of the season, and stole it right from the feet of Colin Stripling at the back.
Yeah, it was the pass from Vega that put him under pressure. It was a bad first touch from Stripling, making his first start in nearly a month, and a good composed finish from Gomez under the arm of Morancio.
A good finish there for Greenville, and Carlos Gomez, his 2nd of the season. And hey, I might have jinxed them early on. No goals before the 30th minute. Well, there is one here in the 16th, and they're up over Tucson.
The type of defense Greenville plays, they're the kind of team that can sit on a lead like this. Of course, John Hawks won't want them to do that, particularly with only 16 minutes gone, but they're a difficult team to break down. When you have to press, you can leave yourself open at the back. We'll see the first time Greenville have experienced this season.
Yeah, and Greenville, a side that's only scored 2 goals in a game, 3 times this season? So definitely looking to find that insurance tally, but they are used to bunkering in a bit, and especially at the home confines, FC Tucson will be looking to strike. When they do concede first, FC Tucson a record of 0-5-2, while Greenville a good record of 4-0-1 when they score first in all matches. They're looking for another here as Muhammad is streaking down the left flank. Hemmings into the box. He's pressured by Hawsworth. The chance coming, but forced a bit there as it goes wide of the near post.
Let me go back to the goal real quick. We talked about pressure. Sometimes teams tend to put pressure on for pressure's sake. There's time to pressure, and Carlos Gomez picked the perfect time there on that long touch. Here's another look at that run by Mohamed.
This is what he can do on the left flank. Pressure there by Venter and Hawsworth, and forced to put it into the side netting.
You got a player like Colin Stripling playing his first start in a month. I'm sure John Harkes told Gomez and Keegan to keep an eye on things there. It was a heavy touch, and sometimes it's all you need to take advantage. It's the same with possession. You can have as much possession as you like, but if you don't do anything with it, same thing with pressure. There's no point in pressuring just for pressure's sake. You got to pick and choose your times, as Coach Sawatsky told us as well with them. They're pressing a little more than they were. They were more of a counter-attacking team earlier in the season, but they pick and choose when to press and when not to.
And you have to have that cohesion as well. On that steal in the end by Gomez, you see Keegan was pressing left, and then he and Hemmings, I believe, came up right away and supported him after the fact. Walker trying to get out of a tough spot against Vega, and finally cleared up into the air at least by Lee. Walker, right back to Lee. Tough spot himself as he'll chip it over to Seiler. Jamga winning it back briefly, but Seiler back on. Stuck in traffic, Jones a quick touch, but it sails out of play, and still the Triumph having a tough time with this Tucson press at the top. Paul was hoping that momentum would take its course, and indeed it did over the end line, and Jay back in control. Jay looking for his 4th straight clean sheet here today. The offense giving him 3 goals and now a 4th goal here in this match over the course of the run. Barely kept in play there by Wright. Down the other way, Moranci is going to have to deal with it and the pressure. Good little touch by him to flick it onto the right side.
Coach Sawaski did commend Marancio's feet during our conference call this week. He showed it there. It was a nice little touch to get himself out of big time trouble.
Right back over to Tucson on the steal. Jamga in space where he is most dangerous. Cuts back, but all green jerseys, the chance, and into the back of the net. Just like that. And that's how this Tucson side plays. Give them the opportunity on the transition, and they'll make it count. 1-1 now. Goals flying in here in the first 20 minutes.
Well, Greenville defense, it was only a matter of time perhaps before they paid for their mistakes. They just gave far too much space to Devin Jamga, and I'm not sure if Dallas J didn't see this clearly, but he didn't even move. Probably get another look on the replay, but you can't give this Tucson team this amount of space, and especially with the giveaways you're giving Evan Lee with a slight stumble. That's a great strike in the end. And Dallas J with no chance.
Just beautiful placement in the top left corner. The 4th of the season for Devin Jamga. Just a beautiful look there. And again, it's another Greenville goal they've given up at home where an opponent drives straight at them through the middle at the top of the box, and they just can't get the stop.
Yeah, John Hawks will be disappointed. I almost think the early goal was great, but I almost think even at that point, at 1, I think he was disappointed the way his team was playing was completely against the run of play with the way they've sort of stumbled to open this first 21 minutes.
11th goal allowed this season for Greenville, and the first in over 3 matches. Ball over the top, and again, Muhammad off sides as the flag goes up. Morancio was all over it anyway. The energy of Legacy Early College and the Reedy River Ride tapered a bit there with that goal, and certainly that'll help out FC Tucson here on the road. Vega coming all the way back to help out, and he's been a bit of a connector between the defense and the offense this season for FC Tucson.
Yeah, Greenville after this game, they really have 5 of their next 7 games on the road, including the next 2 at North Texas, then home against Tormenta, and then at Toronto. So you're playing 3 of the top 5 teams in the space of 3 games, and a win here will be crucial. Give them some great confidence and some real nice point pickups in the last few games going into this tough stretch. They also play again at Toronto in late August, and then all the way up to Madison as well the week after that. A real tough stretch coming up.
Foul called on Venter as he comes into the back of Hemmings. And a chance here on the set piece for Greenville. Always keep an eye on Cole Seiler on these opportunities. He's always strong there on the headers from these wide flanks. '23rd minute, at least a chance for Greenville to get some energy going in the crowd again.
Gomez and Cole Seiler in deep discussion, probably talking about what kind of run he's going to make, where he wants this ball. Of course, where you want it's not always where you get it, but we'll see how Carlos Gomez's delivery is here.
Gomez with the initial tally, trying to help out his side here on the free kick. Ball sent in, headed on, but well off target there as they were trying the really, really direct header off the front, and Keegan puts it wide.
It was interesting set play, clearly set up to perhaps for the near post flick and maybe perhaps try and catch Morancio a little off guard, just didn't quite get the right contact on it.
The Triumph back in possession. As Ross mentioned, their next match coming on Friday against North Texas. North Texas still at the top of the table, and that a Friday night matchup. Hemmings into the box, right side. Batista a touch and puts it out of play. Corner kick coming for the Triumph.
Yeah, good recovery there from Lamar Batista. Hemmings, I think, didn't realize how much time he had.
Corner for the Triumph.
Good recovery from Batista to get his foot in there and poke it away for a corner before Hemmings could perhaps unleash a shot.
Muhammad heads over to take it. Westerville, Ohio native. Week 9 Team of the Week member. Ball sent in a low one and flicked up. See if a deflection is on that, and indeed there was by an FC Tucson player. Throw in on the near side.
Triumph going near post again on this set play. Perhaps John Harks has seen something on the videotape, but again, difference back forward tonight with Batista playing left back and Wakasa in there at left center back.
Seiler looking for the long throw, and maybe here. He takes a step back, though. Goes over to Paulitz, who's wide open centrally. Chested down, danger here, Blooming. Wright plays it on back, and FC Tucson trying to settle things down. Keegan almost a steal. Indeed, Greenville gets it back.
Oh.
Heavy challenge. And the ball hits Keegan after the play as well. It's going to be a free kick just outside the box for Greenville. So either way, a great opportunity for them. But now, head referee Michael Smith has to sort things out.
I mean, I'm honestly stunned in these first 25 minutes the amount of possession these teams are giving away in their own final third defensively. I mean, that was another poor giveaway there, and almost turned into a goal-scoring chance for Keegan. That's a nasty foul. No attempt to even play the ball there by Cody Wakasa.
And Hallsworth, as he continued play, ball hitting Keegan, but looks like we won't have any cards in the situation. As again, deep discussion by Greenville on these set pieces. Don't always see that with this side. But 3 men standing over the ball. Chance coming, and well off target and out of play.
A little trickeration attempted there. Like the two guys by the ball were pretending to have a discussion and just laid it off there for Gomez, but not on net.
Rancio over the ball, and make a good point, Ross. Both these teams seem like they don't want the ball on their own backs. I don't know if it's they're freaked out by the opponent's pressure or what it is, but just typical passes that you're used to seeing connect, especially with Greenville, have not been there.
I would perhaps expect it from Tucson with the road trip, but Greenville just look all out of sorts at the back so far.
Brought down by Keegan.
That's very unlike them as the way they've played so far this season.
Paul, it's up over the top. It's a good run by Hemmings down the right side. Batista trying to buy him away. It goes out. And it will go to Batista and FC Tucson.
Yeah, Greenville putting a lot of pressure on Lamar Batista, seeing how he fits in there at fullback. His first start there this season. He has played there in the past, though, in his previous seasons.
Headed by Jamga. Kept in play by Paulitz. Paulitz again up ahead. Seiler brings it down, and a foul called against Stripling as he battled for the ball against Gomez, who wanted to take it quickly. Indeed, he will to Klaus. Seiler through ball to Hemmings, right side of the box, plays it across. Muhammad is there, cleared. Gomez now deflected away, falls to Hemmings, flicks it up. Muhammad back post, cleared by Wakasa, and Tucson gets out of there.
Sort of.
Polak will keep it up ahead, trying to keep the ball alive towards the final third. Walker now sends it back over to Polak. A great run of chances, and the center backs for Tucson coming up huge on the play. Some confidence here for Greenville. That early goal coming from Gomez, stealing the ball at the back and putting it in. And then met by Jamga on the transition. Sent in. Hemmings a shot right there to Marancio. Can't finish. And FC Tucson almost out of there. Keegan back with it. The flick back over. Save. Hemmings still can't get it in there. Saved at the end line. I'm not sure what Max Hemmings can do to buy a goal, but he still can't find the back of that. 2 straight chances, point blank on goal.
You got to start feeling bad for Max Hemmings. You just can't find the back of the net. I mean, that looked like a certain goal. I mean, this is the most chances we've seen Greenville have in the first half hour of a game all season, and only 1 goal. Was a great initial first strike by Max Hemmings with the one-time strike from the right.
I believe it was Kyle Venter on the end line that got that second stop.
Great volley there from the pass from Seiler. Just slipped past Keegan. It looked like FC Tucson were going to clear it, but Jamel Cox just making a complete hash of it. Oh, I mean, he scores that 99% of the time. What a save off the line that was.
It was Kyle Venter out of Aurora, Colorado, the former Penn FC player last season in the USL Championship, right on the end line.
Is he eligible for Save of the Week? Because
well, we always have this discussion. Defenders should be able to win Save of the Week. Because we've seen Kevin Koyfik of Lansing make a few saves on this field.
I mean, if a keeper had made that save, he would be up there.
Well, the first shot, Marancio might get Save of the Week. We saw Pablo Hara be up for it after the point-blank stop of Hemmings a few weeks ago. But still, again, you have to feel bad for Max Hemmings. I just have to say it.
I mean, what does he have to do?
At this point.
I mean, it was almost harder to miss that than score it, but miss he did. I would consider it a miss, but there's a shot on goal, but is there a save? I don't know.
Ball over the top towards Keegan. Flicks it on over and just into the top netting. Tried for another look at that one. We've seen him do that before with a little chip over the top. Hydration break coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention.
And so Marancio just look over his head is like, oh, please let that go over. As a goalkeeper, you know that look.
It's 1-1, an incredible first 30 minutes of action. Not used to seeing these intense offensive battles at Legacy Early College. But we're in for a good one, folks, whether you're here or at Gentle Ben's over in Tucson, taking in a beer and maybe a bit of food here as you hit about the evening hours over in Tucson.
No, I think both sets of fans have got their value for money already in this first 30 minutes, considering what most people expected out of this contest. Greenville looked a little discombobulated at the back, as I said, but have created plenty of quality chances here in the first 30 minutes. Again, the conversion percentage undoubtedly continues to drop, but 1-1. Still got 15 minutes to go in this first half. A late goal in this first 45 minutes would be good for obviously would be huge for either team.
Sawatsky really talking to his players, trying maybe some tactics, get things in there quickly. As John Harks takes a quick word with his squad. And we talked about the importance of this match, Ross, because upcoming for Greenville, they have a few road matches to prepare for. Coming up on Friday, it will be another battle against North Texas SC, a 0-0 draw 2 matches ago. And of course, their good friends Tormenta coming back to town for the 4th edition in all competitions this season. And finally, Greenville will see Toronto a few times coming up as well.
Yeah, obviously Toronto extremely tough at home. Madison, those 2 home matches will be ones they'll be looking for 3 points each out of. North Texas, obviously, the second road match there against Greenville. The first one was 0-0. Greenville hung on for dear life at times. Dallas J made a couple of amazing saves, but they did have their chances in that game, and you figure if they can get another point out of that one and come back home and take on Tormenta, they'll be in a good spot.
Second time Greenville will face Madison as well, and hopefully, I would hope at least no snow this time.
No.
Tucson on the other side, we talked about it, they're on the road for quite a bit this season. Next 4 matches after today will indeed be on the road before they return home for 7 of their last 8, including Orlando City B.
Yeah, a few tough matches there. Chattanooga playing really, really well of late. Obviously, Fort Madison are tough at their place, and then obviously North Texas, the class of League One so far this season. Again, that's why this match is so important. Either team could pick up 3 points. It would be massive.
Yeah, big match there against Chattanooga, a team that FC Tucson took down 4-0 over at Keno Sports Complex a few weeks ago, and that's a big moment for Chattanooga. If truly their turnaround has happened this season and they're a contender, they'll take care of business at home in that one. Back on the field we go after this brief hydration break. 1-1 FC Tucson and Greenville. If you're just joining us, first matchup this season between the two teams. I'm Chris Bukovic, alongside me, Ross Davenport. Carlos Gomez, the first goal in this match for Greenville, met by Jomga with a beautiful strike from the top of the box.
Yeah, he's playing well so far. Carlos Gomez obviously has the goal. He's getting involved. And he can disappear at times, but I think he's suited to that little 10 spot right behind Keegan.
Headed on, cleared up field by Wakasa. Ball played. Falls to the goal scorer, Jomga. Touch out of play as Siler's trying to get after the ball. I'll have a brief word with head referee Michael Smith.
Tucson are getting lucky so far tonight. I know they're one of the least carded teams in the league, but they could have had 2 yellow cards, one for the kick. The ball kicked at the Greenville player on the ground. That one there, that stopped a quick attack. It was a professional foul by Jomga. He really should have received a card.
And foul-wise, very disciplined team. Second fewest fouls conceded in League One, and also, as Ross mentioned, the fewest yellow cards, just 18 this season across the team. And they're one of only 2 teams in League One to not have a red card yet this season. Jomga can't get after that one as it goes just in front of the Sierra Nevada Brewing beer garden. As Jay will take the goal kick. The other team without a red card this season, North Texas. On top of the table still with a pack just behind them. And Lansing actually getting a point yesterday, and they're at 26 points, second in the league all of a sudden. But you have to keep in mind they do have 19 matches played. Tormenta's only at 14 as we see a foul on that header, and it will be an FC Tucson free kick out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's going to be a great run for those final 3 playoff spots. Any team basically from 7th through 2nd could finish in those spots. We've got Tormenta in 2nd at 26 points, and Madison down in 8th at 19 points, but win, they'd be right back up there in the mix.
Yeah, 1 versus 3 battle going on right now in League One. North Texas and Tormenta in Toyota Stadium. 35th minute, scoreless there. Also scoreless in the 34th between Richmond and Orlando. As Devin Vega stands over this ball. I've seen him a few times this season. Put one in from a free kick. Always a dangerous spot for him. Not the ideal angle here, but dangerous service from him all season. 3 goals to his name. A low one, dribbler out of play, and he'll win the corner kick here for FC Tucson.
Yeah, obviously not the best strike there by Devin Vega, but got lucky with the deflection off the wall, and he'll take the corner as well.
Vega making 12 appearances last season with Phoenix Rising in the USL Championship. Trying to get the assist here. Ball sent in. Keegan handles it well, and we'll just drill this out of play back towards John Harks and the Greenville bench. Fans follow the Greenville Triumph, FC Tucson, and the rest of USL League One all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, US Open Cup, and much more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch League One live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com. FC Tucson with the throw in towards the corner flag, putting some pressure on after this hydration break. It was all really Greenville after that second goal in this match. A lot of chances into the box from in-swingers. Wright brings it down, knocks it back out, trying at the cross, but sails into the air. Klaus, the header. And Klaus, another chance at it with the volley, clearing it downfield. Hemmings after it. Some touches from Batista from behind, and it will be a free kick here for the Triumph.
Yeah, we'll say the last time the Triumph defense looked this uncomfortable was when they played Chattanooga. Obviously, that was a 3-2 loss that they came back from, and that was the only game they've really been scored multiple a ton of times against, and that was the one game where it just really looked strange, and until tonight they just look a little out of sorts. Tucson some credit though. Clearly doing something right to unsettle things at the back, which is not said only one other team has really been able to do this season.
Laurencio. Falls to Muhammad. We'll spin this back over. Start of possession for Greenville. Down the right flank. Here's Siler. Cuts it back. Looking for options. Puts it in there. Flicked on. And everyone really just ball watching as it goes up and out of play deep downfield. Pollitt's the quick throw in. Walker. Gomez losing it there, straight to Jones. Back over to Vega. Halsworth. Wakasa. Pressure from Gomez, no good there as it's deep downfield. Lee after it, along with the FC Tucson offense. Dribbling it out of play, good pressure from Lee, and it's a goal kick coming for Dallas J. And there you can see that tifo that Ross was talking about, that from Star Wars Day, quite a while away this season from today, back in May, but Mark Solo up there.
That's right.
Coming up at halftime, we're going to take a look at USL League One Cleat Week, where you can go online at uslleague1.com, vote for your favorites, and maybe win a pair of sneakers with your favorite design, 10 custom designs, one for each League One side. And also taking a look at early on attendance numbers in USL League One. Who are the top 5 attendance getters so far this season? One of these teams will make the cut as we take a look at that coming up at our halftime coverage. Greenville trying to find one just before halftime. Gomez flicks it on to Hemmings. Klaus, cleared by Batista. Seiler chips it in there. Good run from Hemmings. Knocked down just in time by Venter, and Batista won't clear this as far as Seiler got a header to it. Seiler, service in, headed away by Venter. Cox almost brought down there from behind, but he'll keep his run going. Cut off by Polak, and it finds Walker.
Yeah, good track back there by Tyler Polak. Jamil Cox is one of those guys that you have to keep a very close eye on. He's super quick. Travis done a good job so far tonight with him.
Klaus. Keegan. Quick turn, but he'll put it back centrally. Walker out wide, left to Muhammad. Service into the box. Volleyed away by Batista. Here comes that speed from FC Tucson. Some room for Jamga. He took on the Greenville defense before, put one in the back of the net. He'll go again here, left side of the box. Deflected, stayed in play off of Paulitz. And a foul called there on Jamga as Seiler went down on the late challenge.
It almost looked like it was going to be a carbon copy of the first goal. Devin Jamga decided he was going to go left this time, and great defensive work by Kevin Paulitz. We don't call his name very often. When he does, when we do call his name, it's usually for great tackles like that. I was just a little clumsy there from Jamga. He did get the ball, but went through Cole Seiler to get there.
We make a good point there. Kevin Paulitz, one of the players we don't talk a lot about from the back, but certainly if you're a center back, that has to be a good thing for your play.
No, he's been sneakily one of the best center backs in the league this season. Came with a good pedigree from Wake Forest, and with a recommendation from John Hark's son Ian, who's now playing professionally in Scotland. He's lived up to expectations, there's no doubt about it.
There's Paulitz sending it down the left side to Evan Lee. Muhammad, quick turn, some room to run as Cox retreats back. Polak, give and go over to Muhammad, plays it in. Keegan lets it go by. He thought a teammate was there. Gomez. Seiler. Gets it back, looking for the cross. Batista once again winning it back from Greenville. Ball already out of play. It's a throw-in on the near side as we approach halftime.
With John Harkes and Darren Sawatsky have to be tearing their hair out at the moment with his team's inability to clear the ball successfully. This would be a big loss here if Omar Batista's hurt, which looks like he is. It's perhaps a hamstring, a high hamstring perhaps. See if he manages to walk this off.
Oklahoma City native feeling some discomfort. If you're a coaching staff, you never want to see that, your player grabbing back leg there. He looks like he's going to give it a go, though. We are a few minutes from halftime where he can be evaluated a bit further. Seiler will give off the throw-in duties. And it will be Klaus, and we know how far he can throw it.
Unfortunately, at this stadium, he doesn't have much room on the sideline to get a run-up.
Lee was trying to head it on. Instead, it's back to Klaus. Walker's service in. Down in the box and chested on by Hawsworth. No call there in the middle.
Jake Keegan wanted the penalty. He thought he was getting hugged inside the box.
Tucson, maybe one final go of things. Before halftime, Jones finding some room. Tries to play it wide, a bit too hot there, but it is settled down. Back in, Jones there. Good battle in the air by Paul. It's out of play. Throw-in for Tucson coming.
That's a great header by Kevin Paulus. He gives up a few inches to Jordan Jones and had to make a key challenge there. Not a giveaway. Well, Muhammad doesn't agree with it. Neither does John Harks.
Muhammad will have to give up the ball here. It's a free kick to Tucson.
He's perhaps asking for, John Harks is pointing to the box, perhaps asking for the foul on Pollitt on the Jones header. He did step on him.
It is a foul. I don't care if he got ball there. He did flat out step on his foot.
Yeah, I think John Harks probably agrees with the call, but he's also saying, what about the foul on Pollitt in the box when Jones made perhaps a little too much contact with him.
3 minutes of stoppage time, in part due to the hydration break. Michael Smith having a word with the coaching staff of Greenville meanwhile.
John Harks isn't afraid to let officials know how he feels about their calls. There's no doubt about that. We saw it a little earlier this season in the first couple of games.
Once again, it is Vega over the ball, the San Antonio native, making his 6th start of the season for FC Tucson. Michael Smith gets back in position for this one. Whistle is blown, set to go.
All I say is John Harks better be careful in the post-game press conference about what he says. We saw what happened to Nate Miller this week.
Vega in there, falls there. Batista and Lee battle. A foul is called on the contact.
Michael Smith having a word saying, look, you're a left back in the box, be careful. There's definitely a left back play, took a good shove on Evan Lee. And as Pollitt's complaining about the non-call earlier. Again, Michael Smith, completely opposite of the referee we saw last week. Let a lot of stuff go. Yeah, it was just clumsy there from Batista. Obviously took the shoe off of Evan Lee. Only appropriate, being cleat week.
Yeah, and Pollitt's there actually getting up into a collision with Jones during the play, so not sure if he was pointing something out with that as well.
We'll have to keep an eye on that battle.
Keegan flicks it on. Muhammad in the box, tries to settle it, but a bit too heavy. Venter flicks it up into the air. Pollock little shove into the back, and that'll be a free kick to Tucson.
It was a delightful ball by Jake Keegan. Just had a little too much air on it, but Omar Mohamed could have brought that one down. He would have been able to get a good strike on goal, untouched.
Morantia will come up and take this one, and it looks like both teams starting to get set for this halftime period. It's been an electric first 45. Great offense by both sides, and 1-1 to show for it. Trying to play it to Muhammad. He will get it on the heavy touch. Finding some room towards the other side. Hemmings, Seiler. Right side, trying to play it back across. There's Hemmings. Muhammad, stuck there by Vega, lays it off. Walker now from the top, deflected. Hemmings again. Flicks it up and into the top netting. Looking for the corner kick. No, it will be a goal kick. You could see what Hemmings was trying to do, though. Trying to get Morancio off his line, but just did not work, and we hit halftime.
Yeah, Max Hemmings, that you saw a little hesitation in the box there. That's trademark of a guy with not much confidence in being able to get the ball in the back of the net. He's been very unlucky, though.
At the end of
Some
the first
great
half,
opportunities
the
for
score is
Greenville
Triumph
early
1
on in this match,
and
but
Tucson 1.
Tucson responding
Fans,
with
please
Devin
remain in your
Jamga
seats
on
to
the
participate in the
transition.
live
A
auction
great
of the
45,
Joe
and we
Everson
should see some
Patriotic
fireworks
Canvas.
here in the second
See an
half
usher at the bottom of
upcoming.
your section
Coming
to
up at
receive your
halftime
auction
here as we
paddle.
continue our coverage from
Proceeds from the
Greenville.
auction
We'll take a
will
look
be
at
used to
attendance
send
numbers throughout the
cancer patients
USL
and survivors.
League One so far this season, along with Fleet Week, of course, where you can see some of your favorites from around League One. 1-1 at the break. It was Carlos Gomez starting things off with a pickpocket from the Tucson defense, but Jamga, oh, what a beautiful strike from the top of the box. Jay left speechless, and Jamga left dancing. It's 1-1 at the break. It's a big saves from Arancia. We'll see who can come out on top on the second half. But first halftime coverage coming up next right here on ESPN+. Welcome back into Greenville, where it is also Cleat Week here in USL League One. And Ross, so the USL paired up with AB Customs, put together 10 unique USL League One team cleats. And the fans, they can go online and vote for their favorites. So give me some thoughts on some of these you see in front of you.
Three of my favorites we'll get to in a little bit, but these look nothing like the cleats I used to wear.
I have to say I love the Tormenta one personally with the storm.
I do. They're a little far from the ocean to be having waves in their cleats, but they're very colorful.
Chattanooga's look, the mountains, the Appalachians on there.
I was going to say on the other end, not so colorful, but a nice little abstract look.
Classic look for North Texas at the top of the table.
Not a huge fan of that one.
Lansing Ignite, the spark plug on the back. Love this design.
On the other hand, this is my number one for sure. I love the spark plug. And the colors really pop.
Colors popping here for Greenville with the mountains on the toe.
Just a little bright for my eyes, Chris. As a referee, I don't know if I could get away with wearing those on the
The
field.
strikers will wear them. Honeycomb design from the FC Tucson logo.
This is actually the favorite part of their logo, the honeycomb. So I'm okay with that one. It's probably my top 5.
OCB, the purple and gold popping here.
Number 2 for me. Like it, love the line. I'm a Leo, so it works for me.
Another striker cleat potentially. And for the Flamingos, no pink on this. They're going with the goalkeeper design with the gold and black.
I like it. The pink's a little too much for me. This is a little toned down, and I like it.
Toronto, more of a modern look here with the team colors involved.
Yeah, not a big fan of that one. A bit of a mess, if you ask me, but I can see it.
So for all the fans out there tuning in to ESPN Plus today, you can vote today or tomorrow for your favorites, rank them 1 through 10, and enter for the sweepstakes, and you'll get that design in sneaker form, and whatever your number one is, at the end of the day, you'll get that as the sneaker, or you could choose a different one, of course, if your favorite team is a different design that may be your favorite in the end.
Yeah, I like it. Get online and vote.
Head on over to USLLeague1.com. Get that done today and tomorrow. And those fans that are going to be voting this weekend for the favorite cleats have been coming out in full force throughout the league all season. Looking at our top 5 attendance getters so far this season, starting with Chattanooga at number 5 overall at about 2,200 folks at David Stanton Field. Number 4, right here in Greenville, Legacy Early College, getting about 2,500 folks each match on average, along with the Reedy River Ride, of course. The assembly line always marching into Cooley Law School Stadium in the capital of Michigan, as Lansing boasting about 3,000 fans in attendance at each home match so far this season. The Richmond Kickers coming in at number 2 with about 3,500 fans, as in the River Cities, the Red Army partying every home match, and certainly a lot of those fans coming over from the USL Championship days here into the League One era. Finally, no surprise here, as it's Breese Stevens Field with the top spot, over 4,000 in attendance, as the flock are always partying up in Madison, Wisconsin. Something certainly to be proud of, as every team here starts their League One era and inaugural era at that. So those are our top 5 so far to begin the season, and a lot of fun fan bases as well and supporters groups in this mix.
Yeah, it's great to see these fans embracing these 4 new independent teams. Obviously, Richmond coming down from the USL Championship. It's great to see their fans continuing to support their team. And Lansing, I'm very impressed with. They started off a little slowly, but had a couple of weather troubles, just like Greenville did, but great to see the Lansing fans show up in droves.
And really, this jogs my memory back to that Greenville-Madison game. That was the inaugural match, home match, I should say, for Forward Madison, that snowy event.
Oh, man, yeah, I remember that one. I mean, Madison's a great town. I was there last year for FAU against Wisconsin, and they're a great bunch of fans there, and I'm glad to see they're supporting that team.
Next, we'll take a look at the USL Game of the Week, and hopefully Reno, they're going to be looking for some fans of their own coming up this week.
Long strike, a goal for Orange County. Lacroix and Duke Lacroix. This is dangerous, headed on frame. It is a goal for Orange County. And Corey Herzog, and he perfectly places it. In toward the back post, in the air and through. Orange County. Reese Williams with some space. Williams curls it inside the 18. Soccer attempt and a beautiful strike on the bicycle for Lansing Ignite FC. Absolutely incredible. Elma Enfor. Are you kidding me? Going long distance, trying to connect. Sayone, and he puts it in the back of the net from long distance. Sending it forward. Here's another opportunity, and boy, you back of the net. That is what they've been looking to do all night long. 91st minute, we are tied at 1 apiece. Here's Mintz again. Gets across to the top of the knee. Moshovani left foot. Beautiful strike. Tuvi Moshovani. Here comes North Texas on the attack. The strike and a goal. Is this the moment? Jose Angulo. Dillon Stadium alive again. Martinez! What a way to secure a hat-trick! Douglas Martinez taking the spotlight! To keep it out does the 17-year-old. Looked like it hit the heel of Forrester, and the Bold have the answer moments later. Guess who? Tierpak. Cervantes got the early rounds against the super sub. There's bodies up there. Yeah. There's bodies up there. All right, let's see this. This is where he shines. Cross that in, lets it through. Here's Partey! Partey! Can you believe that? What a strike! His second on the year. Tobiasi trying to pick out Brian Wright. Wright breaks it down. Wright
Welcome back into halftime here in Greenville. We're looking at news and notes from around League One. Talking about the streaks we're seeing. Unfortunately for Richmond, not one to their liking. Haven't scored in the last 6 games, and it's continuing to the first 45 here tonight. Chattanooga, fantastic though, unbeaten in their last 8.
Yeah, I think I mentioned last week, Chattanooga coming into the season had one of the most experienced lineups. We thought they would be good, and then they got off to a rough start, but now they've really started to pick up the pace.
Rafa Menzingen, player of the week for Lansing. Lansing getting 4 points last week as we take a look at the team of the week from around USL League One. His teammate Moshe Bani also making it. Aaron Walker, after his game winner last week, making the 11 as well.
Yeah, plenty of deserving candidates there. Menzingen, I mean, what a week. That guy was just everywhere, all over the field, and great energy. Jordan
Jones in there for FC Tucson, looking around League One today. Of course, yesterday, point apiece for Toronto and Lansing, but no goals on the board in our other locations today.
Interesting. Who would have thought that? North Texas and Tormenta. Obviously, the Tormenta defense is solid. North Texas didn't score against Greenville at home, and now struggling against Tormenta.
Standings in USL League One. Tight pack moving up the table. And, of course, some room to be had for both these sides if they can get the win today in Greenville.
Yeah, if Greenville can win this game, that moves them up to 23 points. That's only 3 points off a second. Yeah, thanks to Tormenta's semi-slide here in the last couple of weeks. But anybody's game at the moment for those 4 playoff spots.
Yeah, right now the only sure thing looking at the standings is that top spot as North Texas SC is continuing to run things throughout USL League One. Looking at the upcoming schedule for League One action next week, a ton of matches coming your way. Greenville, North Texas, as I mentioned, coming up on Friday. FC Tucson will battle Chattanooga for another time this season.
Yep, so many interesting matchups now with these teams battling for that 4th playoff spot. So again, so many teams in the mix. Tormenta, Lansing, and again against OC beating and Trumping. Hopefully pick up some points there on the road like many teams have done down there in O-Town.
Yeah, 2 games next week for Tormenta, currently in 3rd place in League One. Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at first half highlights and stats right here from Greenville. It's 1-1 Tucson and Triumph right here on ESPN+. Second half kickoff is upon us, but first let's check out our first half highlights between the Triumph and FC Tucson.
And Greenville 11 shots in this first half. This is one of them, an awful pass from Vega to Strickland and an awful touch. And Gomez looked like he was going to perhaps let Strickland back into it, but a great finish in the end.
Yeah, Gomez taking control from Stripling at the back and putting it in for his 2nd of the season, putting Greenville up 1-0 in the 16th minute early on. First goal for Greenville in the first 30 minutes of the match this season. Jomga would quickly take it the other way, though, and put in a beauty from outside the box.
Yeah, Tucson were great on the counterattack early this season. This shows they can still do it. What a strike by Jack.
Not much Dallas J could do there.
No, you can just look at it and say, that's a quality shot there.
The party starts for Tucson, but plenty of chances would come for Greenville after that, as they totaled 11 shots, 4 on target in that first half. Just 1 shot for Tucson. Of course, that shot counting pretty well, though. It's 1-1 at the break.
1 shot is all you need. Quite a shot it was by Devin Jamga. Looking to get a little more forward in this second half. Tucson with only 38% possession in that first half.
Welcome back here on ESPN Plus. I'm Chris Bukovic. Alongside me, Ross Davenport. 1-1 at the break. As we mentioned, Gomez and Jamga getting the goals. As it's Tucson starting with initial possession. Headed on, good look for them, but Paulitz quickly knocks it back. Cox stepping up. Chance coming, deflected, and Jay shoving it away just in time at that left post.
Yeah, Dallas Jay did what he had to do. That was a nasty skip right in front of him. He tried to catch that. It could have gone anywhere. He made sure it went away from his goal.
Tucson certainly coming out aggressive just like that with their second shot of the game. And they'll work it out of the back just like that. It was mostly Greenville's control throughout this match. 62% possession in their favor.
Back to that shot on goal. If you're interested in deflections, the opening goal in the African Cup of Nations final yesterday was an absolute bizarre one. The guy came with a slide and tackle about 20 yards out. It clipped him and just looped about the same amount of yards up in the air and over the goalkeeper. With deflections, as a goalkeeper, you're just left in no man's land sometimes. Good job there by Dallas J to keep it out.
Headed out of play down the field as Polak will take the throw in quickly. Oh, look at this Cox opportunity.
Yeah, could have been a nasty deflection, but it ended up being a nasty one just because of the bounce right in front of Dallas J. But got down quickly and enough of hands to it to keep it out of danger.
Lee playing it up ahead. Hemmings the flick on, but Klaus could do much with it. Gomez heads it back to Lee. Stripling. And Cox will play it out wide. Here's Wright. Halsworth. Ball sent in, dangerous one, floats through, untouched. As Seiler will let this roll out of play on the far side.
Seiler has to be careful there. He got him attack that ball. He almost allowed it to come and try and bounce to him, and he almost got caught out as a result. If you're a defender and you don't attack those balls, you're likely to figure that an attacker will be attacking the ball and could be picking the ball at the back of the net.
Seiler, another throw in. Jamga heading it up, Batista. Good game so far. Heavy contact there. And the ball will go the way of Greenville. As it's Keegan taking a heavy touch.
Looks like Jake Keegan might have taken that one where it hurts. Let's take a look at it. I don't think Mark Batista meant to whiff completely, and he didn't whiff. You can tell Darren Sawatsky was looking for some help. Seems like Jake Keegan's okay.
Well, Darren Sawatsky arguing for the call and maybe feeling pain for him as a man, and you have to. Walker, a late challenge on the ground. He'll get called for the foul. And it's back to Tucson. Got a good start to the second half. Vega. Good touch to keep it away from Klaus. Batista flicks it up. Stolen back by Seiler and Greenville. Good move by Keegan. He's racing after it, but Wakasa has his say out of play. No. Good job there finding his teammate. As it was Jamga and then racing back to steal the ball. Vega, a touch forward. He'll get it right back. Tucson looking good in the midfield. Header by Paulitz. Klaus, Gomez, and Greenville just trying to find some possession here and knock it around. Lee pressured by Jones. Some room blooming as Klaus passes it out wide to Seiler, met by Cox. Gomez finding a lane, but too heavy of a touch. Seiler, good run there, but no one saw it coming. As Vega, some room to work. Ball set down the right flank. Right is there, met by Polak. Overlapping run by Halsworth. He'll get the ball on the right side of the box. Chance coming. Trickles on by Jay. Covered the angle well. It's a corner kick in the end on the deflection once again.
Not sure if that was a shot or a cross. Halsworth making his way forward. Almost snuck inside Dallas Jay's far post. Greenville, again, still looking a little out of sorts, a little sluggish perhaps. Simple giveaways. Just not like this squad tonight. It's strange.
Vega will take this corner kick. So far, just 2 shots for Tucson. Ball sent in, headed up. Looked like it was off of Hemmings and out of the box. Cox sends it right back in there. Through the traffic, it falls. Chance coming, trickles into the back of the net. Kyle Venter, a center back, but he's been hot, scoring his 3rd of the season. And on the second cross after the set piece, Tucson up 2-1 on the road.
Yep, Greenville paying the price. I'm not sure how a cross like that ends up falling to the ground.
But through the traffic, falls, and no one really able to clear it.
It was a decent cross by Jamel Cox, but just a half clearance and an easy finish for Venter. Why the guy is so far wide open at the back post, I don't know.
So Greenville giving up 2 goals. And just another handful of times this season.
Definitely been the second best team in the first 7 minutes of this second half. Tucson deserved the lead. They've been pressing higher and forcing mistakes from Greenville. And as a result, they got the lead.
Substitution coming for Greenville while that celebration occurred, and it will be Chris Bermudez on for Klaus, and that certainly sets the tone a bit for what Greenville wants to do in the rest of this match and really push the pressure on offense.
Yeah, that's John Hart's making a statement. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a substitute that early this season for Greenville, and he's making a statement here that he's not going to put up with anybody not pulling their weight. And I'm not sure if Paul Klaus was just the scapegoat, but Chris Bermudez will get some young, quick athleticism out there and see if it can make a difference.
Well, we all saw the tone that Tucson set out of the break. Missed header in the box there, but cleared by Tucson. Came out firing, lots of energy from them, and that got them the goal in the end. And on just their 4th shot overall, they're up 2-1 on the road. Paul, it's stuck in a bit of a tussle there with Jones. Plays it on back to Lee. Gomez, Mohammed, Gomez. No, Bermudez onto Gomez, but cleared just in time. Hemmings, strike from far out, but that dribbler will go wide left of the frame.
Triumph seemed to have lost a bit of the width on the right side. Max Hemmings is pinching in. I'm surprised Bermudez hasn't gone out to that right way. We saw him just there sitting in the middle of the pitch. Greenville have most of their success from out wide. I'm not sure why they've gone away from that tonight.
Looking for the latest USL League One news and content? Follow at USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for exclusive access and updates. Laurencio sends it up and nearly out of play. Foul called, and it will be against Cole Seiler. Jones went down on the play, and Vega will take it.
Yeah, Darren Swaski seemed to be suggesting that an elbow may have been involved there.
So Greenville got the first tally in this match. Tucson responding with 2 of their own. Picked off by Seiler. Off Bermudez. Cox, pressure, And a giveaway on the pass as Stripling steps up to take the ball back. Batista plays it ahead. Barely staying in play, but Gomez sends it out. And a throw-in coming for Tucson.
So Jordan Jones might have a blood situation to deal with. I think. Speaking of elbows, I think he may have got elbowed in the elbow.
Indeed, and play will have to continue. Tucson down a man, at least for now, until he gets bandaged up. And you can see it there on his elbow and a bit on his jersey. Trying to wash it out.
Yeah, that's more like it, Jordan. I don't think it's going to help much on the shirt at this point.
Throw it in the washer quickly. Pollock. Over to Walker. Greenville trying to find that same mojo they had in the first half. A multitude of chances into the box. Jones still waiting to come on.
Now you see Tucson sitting completely back, not pressing at all. Coach Sawaski talked in the middle of the week about this hybrid system when he'll tell them when to press and when not to. And now sitting back a little bit and letting Greenville come at him.
Walker. Second of 6 straight road matches for Tucson, so a win on the road would be absolutely huge. They're able to fight back for a point against Lansing last week. Both teams had a penalty each in that matchup. Bermudez, his pass is stolen away. Jones working against Paulitz. Plays it across, wide open on the other end of the box. Shot, goal, Jamga, a brace today. It's 3-1 Tucson on the road.
Yeah, Greenville caught up the field. It reminded me a little bit of that goal in the first match of the season against Tormenta when they just got caught too far up the field, the fullbacks did. Cole Seiler was nowhere to be seen, and that left Evan Jamga wide open on the right side of that Greenville defense. Another solid finish by that man.
Powerful top left corner. Make that now for Devin Jamga, his 5th of the season.
This is what this Tucson team can do. We talked about it before the game, Chris. They've got a bunch of dangerous weapons. If you give them too much space, they showed earlier in the season when they were that counter-attacking threat. 2 goals tonight in that fashion from Jamga, 2 great finishes.
They caught Greenville out there, not back in time. It was only Paul that's really back as Triumph forced everyone forward there. Maybe because they were up a man briefly with Jones being treated on the sideline. But now Greenville finding themselves down 2-0. 2 goals down here at home. 3 unanswered now for Tucson.
Yeah, we saw Greenville come back from a 2-goal deficit against Chattanooga before falling 3-2 thanks to Stephen Beattie hat-trick. And Coach John Hawks really praised, he's done a lot this season, praised his team's stubbornness and willingness to get back in games when they can. And this is going to be a real test here in this final half hour. This is a game that they really, really need to win. And heading to, obviously to the first place team, North Texas, on Friday, a short week.
Bermudez opening things up. The shot in, but Marancio right there at the near post. Tucson a win today as it stands would put them in 6th place in the table, jumping Greenville. Another look here at this chance from the super sub.
Yeah, Bermudez perhaps the top. He had Carlos Gomez wide open at the top of the 18. It's too early to start getting a little anxious like that shot seemed to be there from Bermudez.
And that's the thing for the Triumph right now. Don't just start launching shots from the outside because you're down 2 goals. Keep playing your game. They've seen plenty of chances so far in this match.
Look, the build-up to the goal, Greenville were actually pinging it around nicely, and then Bermudez tried to force a pass, which he has a tendency to do sometimes. That's what led to the counter-attack and the goal, and here comes Tucson again, but that's not the best of balls from Mr. Cox.
Cox tried to play it forward to Jamga, but well out of play as Jay will have the goal kick. And plays it down the right side quickly. And the defense of Greenville will try to take it out of the back, but immediately after that sub of Clowes, I feel like we have seen the disconnect between the back line and the midfield where they don't have that clear connection where they were able to ping it back and forth. Now it's more taking it down the wings and around, but you don't have that man in the middle that's dictating things. I guess Walker has to be that at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously played with one DM at points this season, and they've been fine, but formations have changed quite a bit. Another poor giveaway by Bermudez.
Yeah, not an ideal start for him coming on as a sub after that second Tucson goal.
Sub might find himself being subbed himself if he continues to play like this.
Bermudez. Polak. Walker. Out to Seiler. Flicks it on. Muhammad working against Batista. Goes down. And a foul is called. So something may be blooming here for Greenville.
That's perhaps a little harsh on Lamar Batista. I don't like it when referees take away a player's natural physical ability. Let's take another look at perhaps. Linesman was saying perhaps. No, that's harsh. Linesman was saying he extended the elbow, but I didn't see anything there. Omar Mohamed just had his weight going forward and expected to get a bit more contact from Lamar Batista than he did and just fell over. But Greenville will take it.
Good opportunity for the home side. Down 3-1 here in the 62nd. Gomez the service. Put in, headed on by Lee. It falls and cleared by Tucson.
Reedy River Riot screaming for a penalty, but I don't think there was one. Looking for the handball. Wearing their sweet free t-shirts from last week.
Another look at this one.
A decent ball in from Gomez, looking for Evan Lee at that back post. No, it was all chest, nothing there.
Get to know your club. Stay up to date with all the latest Triumph news and content. Purchase tickets, merchandise, and more with the new Greenville Triumph app. Search Triumph SC in the Android or Apple App Store and download today. Walker playing it ahead and cleared away from inside the box. Back to Paulitz.
Greenville applying a little more pressure now. Just looking for that opening, but Tucson sitting super deep.
Muhammad, some room down the right flank. Ball sent in. Chested down by Lee. He goes down again, but cleared by Tucson.
Yeah, Evan Lee went down a little too easy there.
Paulitz trying to settle in on him. Tucson backing up a bit here, up 2 goals. Not so much pressure as we've seen in this match.
I think it's probably the right decision. If you continue to push and give Greenville counter-attack opportunities, again, Greenville outshot them by plenty in the 11-1 in the first half, but only the 1 goal, and again, they failed to score more than 2 goals so far this season. And for them to get 3 would be something else. I think Tucson's going to tell them, hey, listen, have a go. We're going to sit back and come at us.
Keegan after it, but at this point, Greenville looking for some spark on offense. Looked really good in the first half, but this second half, Tucson coming out firing. They've been not able to answer that so far. Vega finding some room down the left flank. Paulitz all over this one. Back to Jay. Sawatsky almost playing a move on the ball. And lets it go out of play. Throwing for Tucson, and Batista going to take his time with this one. Walker, Paulitz, Seiler, Hemmings. Muhammad flicks it on. Something looked to be brewing, but now it'll be a free kick on the far side after some contact.
Not sure why advantage wasn't played there, but either way, could kick Keegan here.
Keegan finding some room in front of it. Seiler by his side. Slices it in there to Hemmings. Too heavy of a touch. Professional foul there, dragging it down right from behind. As most of the green kits were up the field.
Yeah, Jake Keegan had the right idea, but his pass was just a little behind Max Hemmings. Yeah, just a little behind him in the first touch. He was a little shirt tug there. He's lucky not to get away with the yellow.
No cards yet in this match for either side. 5 fouls conceded for Greenville and 10 for Tucson. Marancio over the ball. Header. Good touch by Cox. Falls to Vega. Stepping up. Cox. Service out wide right. Halsworth is there. Former Washington Husky. Deflects. Goes back to him. Ball sent in. Headed up. Still dangerous as Hemmings will help it along. Keegan trying to go after it. Wanted the call. Nothing coming. As it was away from the ball. Polak fights with right for the ball, wins it, but sends it out of play. Not much he could do. That's a throw in here for Halsworth and Tucson. Deflection, Halsworth some room. Lee safe here, just driving it out of play.
Polak is incensed.
Michael Smith has the card out already.
Well, it's good to see some fight from Greenville, but is it frustration or is it in reaction to that foul? I think it's a bit of both, perhaps. Tyler Polak, that's very unlike him to react like that. Let's get another look at it on the replay if we can. It's going to be a yellow card for Hasworth.
Lee came in and drove the ball away, but Polak went down in the end on that call. And it will be a card to Halsworth, his third of the season.
The Tucson players are asking for the reaction. Is that for Batista as well, perhaps for some verbal? Devin Vega's asking what about the response from Polak. Let's take a look at exactly what sparked this incident.
Number 13, Luke Halsworth, and number 22, Batista, in the 68.
Halsworth and Polak battling into the box, and just a shove into the back, but it was the fact that he shoved him right into Evan Lee, and that could have been very dangerous. Tyler Polak was right to be as upset as he was.
Second yellow of the season for Batista for his reaction, as Cox, the veteran, continues to make his case. First two cards of the match, both going to Tucson. Right, deflected by Bermudez. He'll get it right back from Gomez. Good tackle from behind by Wright. Up and out of play. But I feel like this is a situation where you would want to bring on a Bermudez type to really try to shake things up on the offensive end, bring you some more energy, but he just has not been able to bring that due to the missed passing and opportunities on Triumph's side overall.
It's just been a very un-Greenville-like performance from start to finish with the early chances, the early goal, and just the sloppy play overall. A little bit of ill-discipline. And that was the result of the Bermudez coming on. We do have plenty of options on the bench offensively for Greenville with likes of Gadiri, Ward.
Muhammad, beautiful strike. Marancio, after knocking it down, hopped right back on it. Keegan almost getting a second shot off.
Better there from Greenville. Perhaps a little more energy from that Polak instant. Muhammad looked wide, stepped back to his left foot in a good curling effort. Marancio should have done better with it and almost cost himself a goal.
Lee plays it wide left. Here's Bermudez. Barely keeps it in play, but Halsworth with it. Foul called on the winger. And a free kick to the away side. There's one sub on the field so far. It's Chris Bermudez. None for Tucson so far as we take another look at this foul.
Yeah, it was a poor first touch. It is in the revenge shove on Hosworth. Just frustrating evening for the men in green.
It's just a weird day in League One. 4 goals on the confines of Greenville for a home match, and then scoreless in the other 2 matches. North Texas Tormenta, 68th minute, 0-0. Richmond Orlando, 0-0 in the 70th, down at City Stadium.
Well, that one we might have seen, but if you reverse those 2 results here in Texas, you wouldn't have been surprised. But it's soccer, right? You never know what you're going to get sometimes with this league, especially.
Walker, nice find with Keegan down the left side. He'll keep it at least away from a goal kick to keep the pressure up.
Yeah, any of these 7, we'll say, quote, middle teams in this league can beat. We've seen it all season. They can beat anybody. They can tie with anybody. And this is an example right here. Greenville came in playing well over the last 5 games and just not looking like themselves tonight at all.
Lee takes it in. Walker plays it. Muhammad's going to have to go after this one. Keeps it in play. Walker. Muhammad giving that ball away as Walker has to go after this one. It's Jamga to Vega. Right up the right wing. Plays it in. Not sure what he was doing there. Well under it and out of play as Jay will take the goal kick.
That was very wrong from Mr. Wright, unfortunately.
Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. First sub today coming for Tucson, it'll be Guillermo Delgado, the former star at the University of Delaware. Coming on for Devin Jamga, who has a brace to his name and certainly will be up for a nomination to the Team of the Week or Player of the Week here in League One.
Yeah, he's worked hard tonight. Obviously 2 goals, give him a bit of rest here with all this travel coming up. And Guillermo Delgado's no slouch himself. He can score and clearly showing what Darren Solotsky wants to do here. Add more goals to this tally if he can. He's not going to sit back.
Yeah,
Play defensively.
Played for Sawatsky in 2015 with the Sounders U23 team, a previous draft pick of the Chicago Fire back in 2017. He was actually one of the first names that really a lot of League One fans knew after his great performance against OCB in the inaugural weekend of League One action. 3-1 win for Tucson in that matchup. 2 goals and assists, but has not seen as much production as the season has gone on.
Yeah, I think one of the 3 former RGV players that Darren Swarovski's put on this roster. Guys with the USL Championship experience are always useful.
Going to see a Greenville sub coming up as a foul is won by Keegan.
Dominic Bowen, perhaps?
Boland or Sammy Gadiri, maybe. Been a frustrating day for Greenville, so we'll see what Parks has in store, maybe to find 2 goals to equalize here in the final, about 16 minutes. Hemmings pass deflected by Delgado. Paulitz ahead. Keegan on the run against Wakasa. He'll keep it in play. Seiler. Bermudez. Tried to play back. Pollock was wide open. Muhammad back out. Seiler in there. Keegan almost with a diving header, but clear just in front of him. Wright will help it along deep downfield. Headed on by Jones. This will stay in play and now trickle out. Substitution coming in for the Triumph here in the 75th minute. It is Dominic Bolin Coming on for,
Substitution for Greenville,
it looks like
number 2.
Omar Muhammad. Interesting to see how they
Number 18,
shuffle things up, as typically Bowen will come in and Seiler move down the field.
Well, it looks like he was asking him if that's what was going to happen at first, but Dominic Boland has had a couple of assists in the last few matches, and looks like he's going to slot in at right mid, and not exactly where you want to be here with the ball when you're down 3-1.
Walker missed the header there, as Jones wanted a shot from right there. Vega stepping up.
Don't let that man shoot from distance. Lost out physically there.
Pollitt's the header. Lee steps up. Keegan now with it. Lee making a run with the offense. Bermudez.
And I appreciate that Don Boland has played pretty well offensively, but you've got much more potent offensive weapons on the bench. Substitution's a bit puzzling, to be honest.
Delgado. Through there, Jones. The strike, it curls just wide. Oh, beautiful chance there for Tucson, again from the top of the box.
And Jordan Jones looking for goals in 3 straight games. That wasn't far off from Dallas Jay's left post. Tyler Polak just giving him far too much space, sort of leisurely closing him down. You find yourself down 4-1 if you do that too often.
Lee takes it in. The offensive weapons maybe still on the bench include Travis Ward, who's come on at times, scored a goal at Lansing earlier this season, and also Sammy Gadiri, who's seen time in the attacking midfield. But it looks like maybe Edmundo Robinson getting set to come on.
Yeah, this is a name we haven't seen in a while on this Greenville team. He's gone off to a decent start to the season, but has only been used sporadically by Coach Harks. He can bring a spark of energy. He's got pace and strength.
Ball flick stays in play with Batista. Knocked out though by Politz. And it will be a sub for the Triumph, and that'll be their 3rd and final substitution, as it is Cole Seiler, I believe, coming off, and Robinson on. 5th appearance this season, totaling just 115 minutes so far.
Substitution for Greenville in the 78th
And that one makes a little more sense. Just in an odd fashion, those 2 substitutions. Either way, Robinson will set up on that right wing.
So Boland will move into that right back spot now. Robinson putting on the Jets and forcing Venter to clear it out of play. Throwing coming. Gomez, Robinson. Ball sent in, cleared away by Venter. And the Triumph out of nowhere winning a corner kick. Bermudez will be on the end of this one. 14 shots, 6 on target for Greenville. Bermudez the service. Headed through there by Tucson. There'll be a throw-in coming for Greenville. Handball there by Gomez off his knee, and free kick now for Tucson. But we talked about in the pregame the accuracy of Tucson as well. 3 shots on target, all 3 in the back of the net, and 6 shots as well total. They've had few and far between, but have been able to get 3 goals on the board through that. 50% shooting. It's an insane number any team would love to have. Looks like Eric Bergen getting set to come in, former University of New Mexico player. 4 starts this season for Tucson and making his 5th appearance now.
Yep, some fresh legs out there in the middle for Tucson as they try to lock this one down. 10 minutes to go.
Devin Vega coming off for him. Like for like switch out there. Walker plays it on back to Jay. This look by Lee.
He made up nicely for his mistake there, though, did Evan Lee.
Gomez plays it ahead. Locasa, good move there to let it go on and fool Keegan. Walker.
They're after having 11 shots in the first half, only 3 shots so far in the second half for Greenville.
Tucson just brought on so much pressure out of the break. Second half whistle came and they just came out firing, and partly I think that's what has to do with that. Bermudez. Keegan. Roundabout here with Venter. Plays it across. Robinson there, but shoved deep out of play. Time dwindling here for the Triumph to get back into this. Ball sent in, headed away on the diving header. Brought down by Walker. Berge gets there first. Clears it downfield towards Evan Lee.
Yeah, that's what those fresh legs are in there for. Held off Aaron Walker, who's trying everything to get a piece of that ball.
Headed on back to Marancio, and he'll take it in to burn some time. Walker up. Bermudez. Polak. Out wide with Politz. Robinson.
Yeah, good work there by Amanda Robinson. But where's the advantage? Not for the first time tonight. Michael Smith just hasn't sort of seen the flow of play and has called it back. And you can see Amanda Robinson is disgusted at that decision.
Free kick nonetheless for Greenville, who's going to look at that foul by Batista.
It's definitely a foul there, but Robinson rides it, makes the turn, and then the whistle blows. I mean, I'm flummoxed by that one.
Polak on the end of this one. Headed out of the box. Gomez. Walker. Down the right flank. Bowen trying to bring it down. Some opportunity around Delgado. Puts it in there. Cleared by Halsworth. Second go at it. Stopped by Stripling and cleared up and away by Batista.
Nice cross by Dunbar. I'm not sure why Evan Lee was the one looking for the ball in the 6-yard box and not the likes of Carlos Gomez, but it was half a chance. So cramping. I know it's hot there tonight. I know earlier this afternoon the feel like temperatures were in the high 90s. That gives us a chance now if this result holds. Greenville got that must win last week late against OCB. This one obviously a much tougher opponent, but what this does now, it really makes these next 3 games into season-defining games for Greenville. You obviously would like to take a point at North Texas if you can get it. Then you're going to come home and play Tormentor, a team that you'll be battling for those playoff spots, and then off to Toronto, a place that not many people win. And if you come out of those 3 games with less than 4 points, you're in trouble.
That's the thing. No one has won so far this season at North Texas or at Toronto. It's a really tough stretch coming for Greenville. That's how important points were today. That may just not happen today for the Triumph. Looking around the League One scoreboard right now, 84th minute. The scoreless streak has ended for Richmond. They're up 1-0 in the 84th over Orlando. North Texas and Tormenta still deadlocked 0-0 in the 82nd.
There's still plenty of games left in the season, but with as tight as this race is, that's the reason why I keep saying that these games at the moment are so important, because a couple of losses and you can find yourself down in 8th.
Well, here's the fact after this match today, just 5 home matches remaining for Greenville, 7 on the road. And the story this season has been you have to win at home, and this could be Greenville's 3rd loss of the season at home. It's just hitting them hard right now on the table as Wright coming off the field after receiving treatment. Etsy Tavares coming into play, and the 25-year-old actually having his birthday coming up on the 24th next week, spending his last season with the Roughnecks in Tulsa. And before that, time with the Real Monarchs in USL Championship.
I mean, as for Tucson, 4 points out of these first 2 road games on the trip. I think if you'd asked Darren Sawatsky if he would have taken that beforehand, I'm sure he would have said yes. So puts them in a much better position.
Batista down the left flank. Offsides flag is up. There will be a free kick the way of the Triumph.
He's all legs and arms, Lamar Batista. You see Max Hemmings gave him a little bit of a tap and a bit of an accidental collision there, but free kick's going to go the other way for the offside initially.
87th minute. Headed up and away. Morgan after it.
Tucson with the inconsistent lineup, they've really missed the consistency in points. I think the last 2 games were the first time they've picked up 4 points in back-to-back games all year. Now this is the second. This will be the second time they've done it. That's without 4 players in Phoenix, and obviously Summersall playing internationally. It's a very good result here.
Back to Lee, and they'll cycle it around. Who's up, who's down, where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL League One Power Rankings, only on USLLeague1.com. These power rankings have been shooken up lately, especially with Tormenta's 2-game slide. Maybe only getting a point on the road here today against North Texas. Ball out of play, trying to be saved by Robinson, but a goal kick coming for Marancio.
Yeah, I think anybody will take a point on the road at North Texas. Only 1 shot. Sorry, excuse me, 2 shots for South Georgia today, 14 for North Texas. So you can see where that game has been so far tonight, but still no goals for North Texas. Very similar to the result down there by Greenville. You just got to go in there and hang on and hope to get a counter-attack opportunity. Perhaps North Texas, clearly the class of this league.
Just not Greenville's night here at home so far, at least. As Robinson, the squad look to
Shoved behind from
get some goals late. Knocked down by Batista. He is on a card already. That's what Robinson's arguing for.
Never seems to think it was his fault, though.
Oh, look at this one.
Yeah, Robinson had his beat, and that's an easy foul. Had the hand on the shoulder and then clipped him from behind. Me? No. Well, the goal here would make it interesting. The last couple of minutes, that's for sure.
Certainly. Gomez on the end of this one. He scored the first goal in this match. Ball sent in, headed up by Batista. Lee will have to cycle it back to midfield with Jay well up the pitch. Bermudez. Lee. Long ball, but well in front of Boland. It's a goal kick coming for Marancio. And a chance for Tucson. They need to look to grab onto those 3 points as we dwindle towards stoppage time.
The other thing that makes this result a little disappointing is the draw last night. There was a chance for Greenville to make up points on both those 2 teams, Lansing and Toronto, but instead now they fall behind those 2.
6-game road stand asking for a lot from Tucson, but they've shown well so far. On their way towards 4 points. Is now into stoppage time, and we have 5 minutes on the board. Lee. Down the right flank as Cox chases after it. Hemmings now with it. And Robinson out of play. Just since came out of the halftime break, Greenville has not been in sync like we've seen them in the first half and at home this season.
Yeah, that touch there from Edmondo Robinson was one from a guy who hasn't played much at all over the last couple of months.
Lee brings it down and will knock it on back to Jay. Tucson holds on here. Will be an impressive win. Could add to their resume. Certainly will move up in the power rankings of USLLeague1.com coming on Monday. Through the traffic is Delgado. Jones and Fergan to his right. He'll play it into the box. There's Tavares as well. Brings it down, top of the box.
Anybody?
No one running on it. Would have been an awesome shot from that opportunity.
Both seem to be sitting there forever.
Pollock. Walker. Deflected. Out to Hemmings. Robinson. Miscommunication again as he wanted Bolin to make the run. Just not the day for the Triumph. Get a reminder on ESPN Plus coming on Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time start at North Texas for Greenville. A huge match here for the Triumph as they try to hold on to the pack here in League One. Out of play, throw and coming for Tucson. Tucson at Chattanooga coming up next Saturday. Chattanooga side that is off this week, but certainly will look to continue their 8-game unbeaten run. Chattanooga and Madison, the two teams off this week. Pollock down the left flank. Plays it across. Bermudez into the box. Striking it. Saved by Marancio. Rising to the top left corner. It's out of play for a corner kick.
Nice run by Bermudez and left-footed strike, but a quality save by Mauricio. Lovely ball in by Polak. Perhaps waited a little too long, but Mauricio got a good look at it. Got his both palms up to parry it away.
Bermudez on the corner kick. Ball sent in, knocked down. Pollitt's after it to keep it ahead. Bermudez working against Cox. Can't find the room. And deflected off of Bermudez following Cox's deflection. A throw-in for Tucson. Not sure if there's enough time here for Greenville.
Yeah, Jamil Cox is a tough man to get around with his pace. Bermudez tried, but ended up giving away the throw-in. Was that a foul throw there, perhaps? Nope, have to shove in the back on Tucson. Vergan slows things down.
Polak, chance to service this into the box. He'll do just that. Over everyone, though. And Delgado will clear this into the night of the upstate.
Yeah, full credit to Darren Sawatsky. This is, again, I think only the second time this season that Greenville have been made to look as un-Greenville-like as they have. And Chattanooga was really the first game in that 3-2 loss. Greenville have been in every other game, really. I mean, they were in that Chattanooga game once they got back to 2-2, but ended up losing, obviously.
And this week on our conference call, I asked Darren Sawatsky, how are you going to handle playing against this Greenville backline that's been so strong? And he said, hey, we're just going to play our game. And certainly they did that with their counter-pressing ability. They took it to Greenville, opened things up on the wings, and got it done. And they looked like the FC Tucson team we've seen be so strong at home all season. Cox looks it on. Gomez back up after that collision. And there's the final whistle. A huge, huge win on the road for FC Tucson. 4 points into the 6-match road trip. And frustrating night for John Harkes and the Triumph. Going up 1-0 early on in the 16th, but 3 unanswered goals by Tucson, including a brace by Devin Jamga. And now Greenville back to the drawing board as they'll hit the road Friday night against the top team in League One. Aaron Sawatsky and FC Tucson celebrating a 3-1 victory in the upstate as they head back home across the country, and now in sole possession of 6th place. Coming up, we'll take a look at highlights from full-time and, of course, stats as FC Tucson soaks in a 3-1 victory over Greenville. Welcome back here into the upstate of South Carolina. 3-1 victory for FC Tucson. As we get set to look at our full-time highlights, Reedy River Riot still giving their thanks to the Greenville faithful. As we take a look at the goals throughout this match, and it started with the Triumph putting on that pressure and Gomez leading the charge.
Yep, great time to the press and picked off the sloppy touch and good finish into the back of the net by Carlos Gomez.
Nice one past Morancio, who ended up having a great night following giving up that goal early on in the 16th minute. But FC Tucson would answer, and it was on the transition we've seen them do so many times this season.
Kevin Pollitt's had help. I'm not sure why he didn't close Devin Jam again, but what a strike from 25 yards or so. No chance for Delache whatsoever.
Jamga getting 2 goals today in his brace, 5 now on the season, and certainly will be up for Player of the Week consideration here in League One. Another goal coming for Tucson as we open the second half, but it was on the second go-around with the cross in.
Yeah, corner's only half cleared, cross in by Cox, and sloppy bit of play in the box and finished well.
Venture getting the goal. His 3rd of the season for the Aurora, Colorado native, and they're getting the lead, but the insurance tally would come their way as well to finish off 3 unanswered goals by Tucson. It starts with Jones, and just no one really at the back for Greenville.
Yeah, turned that one look up and saw how wide open Jamga was at the back post as Evan Lee was trying to get back, and didn't get back in time. Another superb finish by Jamga.
Good look by him to finish off the brace. Powerful again into the top left corner. Not really anything Jay could do about it. As Greenville did get their chances late on, some opportunities into the box, but perhaps their best chances did come in the first half. and just too little, too late for the home side.
Yeah, plenty of quality chances early, and sometimes when you don't put those away, things eat at you. The first time Greenville scored that early and couldn't add to the tally.
Laurencio, a save late that kept just one goal on the board for the Triumph, as he's had a few point-blank saves throughout the night, and a big one for the keeper. Just 6 shots for Tucson throughout, but we talked about their efficiency shooting. They've been so strong this season in this category, tied for first in League One. 3 shots on target, 3 goals to show for it.
That's exactly right. In the reverse for Greenville, again, their struggles in front of goal continue. 7 shots on target, only 1 goal. Dominated the possession stats. I think that's probably the most we've seen from Greenville this season, but disappointing loss at the end of it, and some work to do now for the Triumph if they want to get back into the playoff hunt.
A really tough stretch coming for the Triumph, but FC Tucson, they continue, quote-unquote, a tough stretch of their own with 4 more road matches coming their way, but they have 4 points in these first 2 road matches of a 6-road stand, and certainly they'll be getting some love. And the power rankings come Monday on USLLeague1.com. It finishes 3-1 FC Tucson here in the upstate of South Carolina. A big win after flying cross-country here for Sawatsky and his squad. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight on ESPN+, and a big thank you to our entire crew. Alongside me, Ross Davenport. A reminder, coming up next weekend in League One action on Friday night, it's going to be Goals Squad against North Texas SC, and then FC Tucson facing off with Chattanooga at David Stanfield on Saturday. I'm Chris Makovic. Thank you for tuning in, and enjoy some more League One action coming up next week right here on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.